Hello there. Welcome. I'm focusing on a verse today in Psalm 32. A promise from God for you. I will instruct you and teach you the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. I will instruct you and teach you the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. God's promise is that He will, as we follow Him, direct our steps and show us where to go. He will make provision for us. If He has a purpose for our lives, if He has something He wants us to do for Him, He will provide everything we need in order to be able to do it. And He will point us in the right direction. And it's up to us whether we follow that direction or not. And I'm thinking of this in relation to the Virgin Mary. That young woman, hardly a woman yet, but a young woman who was met by an angel in her home, who told her that she was going to have a baby out of marriage, outside of marriage. Now in our society, that's not a big deal. But back in those days, it was dreadful. She was engaged to a respectable man of the town, and to be found to be pregnant without being married to him would mean a lifetime of disgrace. She was facing not having the support of the man that she was engaged to, and in a society where, if they followed the rules, she would be stoned to death. Here was this young girl confronted with an angel who told her that she would have a baby. Now where is the provision in that? Well, it is in what the angel said to Mary. He said to her, "Behold," this is in Luke 1 verse 36, "Behold, your kinswoman Elizabeth, in her old age, has also conceived a son. And this is the 6th month with her who was called barren. For with God nothing will be impossible." And after the angel left, immediately Mary went to visit Elizabeth. God had provided for Mary a person, a woman, who understood that she had and would believe her, that she had seen an angel and what the angel had said to her. The one person who would understand and who could support her through the difficult days. God provided. God could easily have sent John the Baptist into his mother's womb 5 years earlier, or 2 or 3 years later. But the timing was perfect, and this baby conceived in Elizabeth's womb was a miracle baby, because she and Zechariah, her husband, were old folk, and it was way beyond childbearing age for her. And she was a freak, and everybody was talking about her. And she hid herself away because of the terrible conversations that went on. She was pointed at, spoken about everywhere she went. But she was the one person. God provided Mary with someone who would understand, someone who could say, "I believe you that you saw an angel. I know you're not a harlot, you're not a wayward woman. I know that you haven't been raped. I know that you saw an angel. I understand." And indeed, Elizabeth experienced a miracle of her own when Mary went to visit her, for the baby in her womb reacted to the coming of Mary into her house. And she had a knowledge of what Mary had in her womb, or who Mary had in her womb, that was divinely revealed to her. Read it all. It's in Luke chapter 1, the first 45 verses. And it says in verse 56, "And Mary remained with her about 3 months and returned to her home." So she stayed until the baby was born. And the miracle, the fact that it was a boy, they'd been told it would be a boy, it was a boy. And then she went home. The one question that Mary did not ask the angel was, "How do I tell Joseph?" She didn't ask that question. You read it. We're so used to it. We hear it every year, read out, the passage about the foretelling of Jesus, the angel Gabriel coming, and all the songs that have been written about it. But Mary did not at any point say to the angel, "How on earth do I tell Joseph?" Because God had told her supernaturally, and he could look after telling Joseph if Joseph needed to know. And if Joseph was not going to be part of Mary's life because he wouldn't accept her, she knew that God would find a way. God had provided already a friend, a confidant, a person who could stand with her and who she could be with in those awful months when she knew she was going to be pregnant, when she knew she was pregnant, but before she had to tell people. God provided for her. God fulfilled his promise to her. This psalm was written centuries before Mary was born, and the promise was, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go." And the angel had that bit of his message to tell her, that Elizabeth was pregnant, and it was supernatural, and she would understand. God had every detail perfectly worked out. And what he did for Mary, he will do for you and me, because God is no respecter of persons. He doesn't treat people differently. His promise is as true for you as it was for Mary, that whatever you face, whatever you need, God will provide for you. You almost don't even need to ask him. He's ahead of you, sorting out things that need sorting out so that you can fulfill the purposes of God in your life. Well, that's my thought for the day. Have a wonderful day, another day of preparing for celebrating the first coming of Jesus our Lord. God bless. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.